I feel like I'm, jamming here.
Yeah. Do you think that AI is going to replace the role of a lawyer?
I think it's a great question. I don't think so.
Yeah.
I think, not least because I think history teaches us that lawyers have managed to survive every wave of change. But I think because there is a kind of very important societal role that lawyers play.
Yeah.
At the moment, maybe it's not the one that's most seen or valued. But I think we've always had lawyers to moderate disputes and inequalities and basically bring the justice system to life. But they will look very different possibly from what we are used to, no more wigs for sure.
Yeah, I think there was something you said in our panel that I really, really liked, but I didn't get to pick up on, was you said the way that we are going to practice is going to change. And I think that's completely right in terms of how we shifted from when we had, or lawyers back in the day had piles of post, to then switching to the internet, and now we've got this new tool that is AI. And I think, again, you're right in a sense that the work that we do might look different in a sense that we can have AI assist in terms of document drafting, research and things, but the relationship skills, the client management, the actual conversation, the literal physical touching, not like physical touching clients because that's inappropriate, but you know what I mean. Like that side of the lawyer is going to still be so relevant, and that's something that I don't think AI is going to be able to replicate.
I think it's a gift to lawyers, actually, the fact that you have this kind of, a comparator almost, say, well, you can have this machine and the machine might deliver an, unjust or unjust, what is justice in the, delivered by, say, an engine. Obviously, we know with our AI kind of analysis of judgment, how judges decide and all of that, we've had that kind of work for years now being carried out. But I think for lawyers to be able to redefine their role in society, to redefine why, upholding the rule of law and these kind of principles are really critical to functioning society is actually an opportunity for us to step up and say, it isn't just because we want to be a room full of millionaires, that I want to just optimize how I make more million. But actually it's a great time to say, well, you can put your trust 100% in the machine and it will deliver something out of control, or you will value the judgment of human, because, it's a time, if you like, it's almost like having jurors, right? Where you're basically saying, well, I think it's fair to have a bunch of judgments by people that are human and, have their own kind of perspective on life, decide on a murder case, right? So it's the same kind of opportunity for us to say, well, where is the human judgment in the delivery of law actually sit? And I think that kind of, the AI rise, it's an opportunity to say, well, let us explain, let us educate, and let us value more, and not just value more what we earn, but actually what we contribute.
No, I completely agree. And just to wrap up, so we know that the legal profession generally is quite slow to change or to adopt new technologies, where our clients are like leaps and bounds ahead. So of course the lawyers have to keep up. What would you say to those lawyers that may be out there that are hesitant to use AI, that are reluctant to use it, well, they just don't simply understand it?
To be honest, I feel for them, because I think, for me, I've seen societies in transition. And I think we should just be more honest. So some people will be left behind, and we need to put in place retraining, we need to put support in place for people who will just, not because they don't want it, not because they're resistant, sometimes they may not be able to, and it's not, it requires a different way of adapting, a different way of using tools. And sometimes you just can't make the transition, but I think we need to recognize that there is a transition, and some people are facing a big challenge. And they still need to work. And they still need the income, and we need to think about them, because it's very easy to kind of go for the shiny new object, But I
100%.
think, for me, I guess because I lived through the transition from communism to capitalism after the collapse of the Soviet Union, right? I saw whole generations being very scarred. And I think it's going to be the same. We had the mining, changes here. I mean, all these kind of big...
And the pace of AI changing as well is crazy.
Big transformation means economic transition. It means a lot of kind of flux, and I think not everybody's comfortable with it.
Yes.
And we need to give them that kind of safety and security, but also training, and see where their value lies, which is what I always, I'm secretly interested in, right? So when I started the business and I talked about the mom self-worth, there's skill in there. You just don't look at them in the round. You basically say, well, will the skill fit the way I do my things?
Yes.
And then the answer is no, sorry, I don't have time for you.
Yeah.
But actually, if you say, I remember one of our first projects was a multilingual derivatives project, okay?
Yes.
Now, I didn't even know I could do stuff like that because I never did derivatives.
Yeah.
But it was
Still don't really
multilingual
fully
was
understand
the key skill, being commercial, but also being able to be multilingual, which meant that a lot of the moms that were, dual qualified and with skills in languages could come in and translate and interpret and interrogate. And actually their skill was something that normally the legal profession didn't value.
Yes.
But in the context of the work itself, they were invaluable.
That's
so
amazing.
It's looking for the skills that are still valuable.
Yeah, and that is the future president of the Law Society, everyone. Amazing, you're the best.
Very
Thank
funny.
you.